Welcome to Cavs Daily, your one stop shop for everything there is Cavalier related, and your home for the true Cavs fan. I'm your host, Paul Williams. Excited to have you along with me for another episode. And with that, we get to something that might not be as exciting, but needs to be talked about. We've now had more than a few months to stew on the heartbreaking ending to what was a phenomenal season for the Cavaliers last year as they lost in the second round of the playoffs to the Indiana Pacers. The Cavs were really big favorites going into that series. They were the favorites to come out the East, and I think everyone predicting that series against the Pacers had the Cavs winning 4-1, 4-2 at worst. I did not even see many 7 game predictions. I didn't see any Indiana Pacer predictions, but as you probably have heard, the Pacers did go on to win that series 4-1, and it just need to dissect it a little bit, really try to understand what went wrong there. There's never one reason when a team, especially a team favored to win a playoff series, loses in that fashion. It's always a mixture of things that could have been done differently and bad luck. The bad luck, let's get that out the way first. No matter how tough you want to be and how you have to just get through injuries or next man up mentality, in sports and especially in basketball, injuries play a huge part in deciding who's going to make a run every year. And the Cavs, after having pretty phenomenal injury luck in the regular season, just did not have that luck hold up in the playoffs as Darius Garland missed the first 2 games of the series. Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, and DeAndre Hunter all missed game 2. And even after coming back, especially DeAndre Hunter, from game 3 on, just wasn't the same player. Was only playing 14, 16 minutes a game. His efficiency was way down. And the same goes for, DG, who did have a better game 4, but in game 3 and game 5, really just looked like a shell of himself. He couldn't move the way he needed to on defense, and Indiana definitely picked that out and exposed that. They probably would have tried to isolate Darius Garland anyway as an offensive strategy, but once it's a hobbled Darius Garland, he becomes more than a liability. Felt like he was almost unplayable himself, but the guy backing him up, Ty Jerome, was even more unplayable, and that was one of the worst fall-offs I've seen from regular season to playoffs. Ty Jerome just wasn't it. He didn't bring it in any way. He cost himself for sure millions and millions of dollars with the horrendous playoff performance. He had a game where he didn't make one field goal. Game 4, he had 7 points. Game 3, he shot 1 for 8. He was just bad in all facets. He was also someone that on defense got picked on by the Pacers offense. So he was definitely someone that really hurt the Cavaliers that they were depending on, especially with the injuries to the other guys. And you shouldn't have to put so much on a 6-man or a bench player, but when the starting point guard is clearly hurt and you're the 6-man of the year candidate backup to that point guard, when it matters the most, you need to be able to be relied upon at least for average replacement level play. And unfortunately, Jerome was nothing close to that. And that's probably the main reason I was kind of happy that he's on his way to Memphis, as I don't see that changing too much in future playoffs, especially with just the type of player he is. Don't know if his game is suited for the playoffs when it slows down and it's a lot more half-court basketball. But yeah, between the injuries and just the underwhelming performances from a lot of players, the Cavs also just got outplayed when it comes to physicality. They couldn't keep up with the Pacers' pace. Yeah, the Indiana Pacers played at a high pace. It's not easy to say. I think I pulled it off decently, but they did. They just ran the Cavs out of the building in the second half of those final couple of games, game 4 and 5, and it was hard to watch at times. So kudos to the Pacers. They also are a huge reason for what happened and how they were able to dispatch the Cavs 4-1. But it was a lot more than just what the Pacers did out there. The last guy that really disappointed me was Jared Allen. Donovan Mitchell, of course, did the best he could do. He also got a little carry happy, but I understand that. But Jared Allen, he had no health issues that we know of. He looked okay in the first couple of games of the series, but those last two games, I mean, he just was not a player that should be on the NBA court during the most crucial games of the season in the playoffs. He looked lost out there. He couldn't even remember how to rebound the basketball. And when you're nearly 7 foot, and that's basically your entire job, there's no excuse for that, especially when you're going up against a team with a center like Miles Turner, who also is a very low average rebounder for his size and position. Jared Allen had no excuse for the numbers he put up the last couple of games. 6 rebounds combined in the last 2 games, 12 points. Just was not a good effort by our starting center, Jared Allen. And the Cavs needed him big time, and he was also someone who just wasn't there. And that might make the next topic a little tricky to understand, but I do think that there is someone that the Cavs may not be thinking about so much as a all-star type of player or someone who's going to be an all-star this coming season, but the same guy that I just kind of stomped on a little bit, Jared Allen. I think Jared Allen opens this season very strong with Darius Garland being out, even though it's obviously not the same position. A lot of touches do come available. A lot more focus of the offense will be on the big guys, both Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. And it just seems like whenever there was one of the big four out, no matter which one it was, Jared Allen always was able to raise his game and put up crazy numbers. He already leads the league pretty much year in and year out in field goal percentage, including last year when he shot 70% in the regular season. He's had 3 4 week spans where he averaged 20 points and 14 rebounds. He's won player of the week because of some of his hot streaks. Had a streak where he had 12 straight double doubles, breaking the all time franchise record. So I just think with Darius Garland at least being out to start the season, and with guys like Lonzo Ball, Larry Nance, that are going to be in the rotation that have a high probability of missing some games due to injury, and just the fact that outside of Larry Nance, there isn't really another capable backup big right now on the roster. I see Jared Allen having a big first half of the season, and I think it'll be big enough for him to make his second ever All Star game. He was an All Star in 2021-22 season, but that was a replacement for James Harden, the guy he was actually traded for just a year prior. So it wouldn't be his first ever All Star selection, but I do still think it would be one that kind of came out of left field that not many people are looking at seeing. I do think Jared Allen will be one of the good surprises for the Cavs early on in the regular season. That doesn't change what happened in the playoffs last year or in playoffs past, but in the regular season, for the most part, Jared Allen is a serious threat, and he can put up big numbers, which is kind of what is needed to make the All Star game, especially when you're on a team that most likely will be number one or number two in their conference. That only helps Jared Allen's case. So I do see Jared Allen making the All Star game this year. And speaking of the Cavs being one of the top teams in their conference, that's kind of a given at this point. And the other top team is also kind of a given at this point, I guess, in the Knicks. But outside of the New York Knicks, which team really scares you the most? Which team might kind of rise up from the bunched up crew and really assert themselves as that third or fourth best team in the East, or who knows, maybe fight with the Cavs and Knicks for the number 1 and 2 seed. I mean, Milwaukee. Anytime you have a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo, no matter who is around him, you're going to have a chance to compete. And with Giannis and them adding Miles Turner, that size and shooting can be a problem in the regular season, especially. And the Bucks will have some vets, guys like Kevin Porter, who will have to take on bigger roles. That even if he's not my favorite due to Cavs times in the past, he is a capable guy that could give you 15, 6, and 5 if he's getting those type of minutes. So the Bucks are someone to, I guess, not truly sleep on. Then you have teams like the Hawks and Magic, who a lot of people are high on this year. I see some of the odds and some of the predictions, and yeah, I guess because the lack of elite teams at the top of the East, I guess the Hawks and Magic do slide into some conversations of at least a team that could get home court in the first round of the playoffs in the East. But I don't know. I just don't really see them as true threats. The Hawks did a few good things by adding shooting with Luke Kennard and Alexander Walker, also from Minnesota, as kind of their Swiss Army knife to guard and also be able to get buckets off of the bench. They'll also be getting Jalen Johnson back, who was looking like the most improved player of the year last year before getting hurt. But I don't believe in Trae Young led teams. I think the Hawks have reached their climax with Trae Young years ago when they made that Eastern Conference run. And then you get to the Magic, and they've been a darling now for a couple years as a team that's going to take the step to the upper echelon of the East, and call it because of bad injury luck, which they did have last season, or just the guys being young. They haven't lived up to that hype yet, and their core guys is solid, obviously, with Ben Carroll and Franz Wagner, and I guess Jalen Suggs when he's on the court, but it's hard to rely on those guys' health. And they really play winning basketball at the end of the day? Adding Desmond Bain helps, but they basically mortgage their future for, to me, is just like a solid starter in the NBA, someone below the All Star tier, but I guess above average. And I just don't know if that really pushes them over the top. I guess if Wagner and Ben Carroll both take another big leap, Suggs is healthy all year, and Bain also takes a leap and is that difference maker, maybe it's possible, but I don't know. I just don't see it. So to me, I guess I'd say I'm picking the Bucks to be the third team in the East, fighting with the Cavs and the Knicks for the top of our conference. But yeah, it's really to be seen, and I really wonder what you guys think about that. And to wrap things up today, just wanted to throw out there a question I've been thinking about with Darius Garland set to miss some of the season, at least the beginning of it. Should Craig Porter Jr. or Tyrese Proctor get the bulk of the backup minutes behind Lonzo Ball and maybe play or start on back-to-backs if Lonzo Ball is sitting out? Porter in his third year, he's 25 now, has shown flashes. He's only 6'2", but plays some defense, holds his school record at Wichita State for blocks in a career at 81. He's kind of really worked to carve out a role with the Cavs, so I wouldn't mind that. Then you got Tyrese Proctor, the rookie, a second-round draft pick this season of the Cavs. He dropped 35 in a summer league game, averaged 17, 3 and 3 in the summer league, more of a scorer than a facilitator, but that could help the Cavs kind of fill in that Ty Jerome scoring off the bench last year. So both of those guys have, I guess, a case to get minutes with Darius Garland out this season, or I mean, I'm sorry, to begin this season. but I'd probably lean towards Porter getting those backup minutes. But it'd be interesting to see Proctor, and I wouldn't mind it because he's 6'6", and with his scoring chops and his 3-year Duke starter pedigree, you never know. I think his ceiling might be higher, so it'd be interesting to see him get a shot. I wonder what you guys think about that. I guess we'll find out more as we get closer and closer to the season starting. Um, as that progresses and as all the news continues to trickle in, I will be the place to hopefully give that news to you before anyone else. And yeah, I appreciate you getting to the end of the video. I will be back tomorrow with another one. And until then, thank you. Please subscribe and like if you see fit, and have a wonderful evening.